Hi everybody, welcome to your 30-minute release session. So today we're going to be doing some wall work. Now this wall work in our release is going to be for some restorative postures. So not holding quite as long as our yin sessions, but using the wall as a support so we can really do some gentle stretching. And also just in case you're feeling stressed lately, this is going to be a really nice session to just let that energy slow down. For me, postures like legs up the wall are some of the best things to do when either I'm feeling stressed or I've been traveling a lot. I know not many of us are doing that right now. Or even if I've been hiking and exercising a lot. So when I was on the Annapurna circuit, I did a lot of legs up the wall. It's not going to be all legs up the wall though. We're going to be doing some stretching through the shoulders, the chest, lots through the hips, groin and hamstrings. Yeah, hope you enjoy the practice. So what you'll need is a strap or the tie of your robe, just something we can stretch the hammies with at the start. And it's optional, but maybe even a folded up towel if you find your knees don't love kneeling on the floor. So we might do one kneeling posture that might need some padding. All right, so I want you to come to your mat. We're going to lay in Shavasana with our feet to the wall, feet flexed flat to the wall. So as you come to the wall, and yes, I know many of our walls have skirting boards, so it might be that you're focusing on pressing more of the sole of the foot into the wall if you have a thick skirting, or even if it feels good to press the tops of the feet as well, that's great. I want you to lay back, relax the shoulders into the floor, keep your strap handy, and just if you can, really getting a good connection of those feet to the wall. Relax the shoulders. I want you to take a big inhale through your nose. Release through your mouth. And again, big inhale. Let it go. Once more in. Release. And now I want you to breathe in through your nose and out through your nose. And as you breathe in through your nose and out through your nose, I'll give you a nice simple count, in for 4 and out for 4. And this is just to bring us into presence and into good breath habits on the mat. So exhaling the air through the nose and breathing in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, in, out. Just keep that breath moving in through the nose and out through the nose. Just noticing if that breath is a little more spacious, a little deeper, a little longer than it was before. Pressing your heels into the floor for the last couple of breaths. And then when you're ready, hugging your knees in towards your chest. And as you hug your knees in towards your chest, you might just massage the back on the floor a little bit. So I want you from here to place one hand on each knee and split the knees apart and circle the legs out, around and back in again. So we're going to need a bit of mobility and blood flow through those hips for where we're headed a little later on the wall. So just mobilizing through the hips. This should also feel pretty nice on the low back. And then change direction, circle out the other way. So I'm quite close to the wall here, mainly just to be in the frame, but you can still stay with your legs nice and long away from the wall. I want you to bring your legs back to center, left sole of the foot to the floor, grab hold of your tie of your robe or your strap, and stretch your right leg up toward the ceiling and relax your elbows down to the floor. Try not to fall into the trap of tension through the shoulders and arms straight up. If you are doing arms straight, you want to make sure you can really drop through the shoulders and relax. Otherwise, let everything drop to the floor. And I've just got my left leg bent, but you can have that left leg still straight out toward the wall if you like. I want you to start mobilizing through that right ankle toward the ceiling. So maybe rolling out the ankle, or maybe inhale ballet point, exhale dorsiflex, and just get some blood flow there. And then change direction, circle out the other way. And then when you're ready, you twist, straps into your left hand, your right arm reaches out to the right side of the room, and take that leg across the body. Now some of you will feel more comfortable with that leg hovering. For me, I feel a little more comfortable with that leg to the earth, but make sure this right shoulder hasn't lifted. So keep that right shoulder earthed and really feeling that pull in two opposite directions between that right hand and that right leg. 2 more breaths. Well done. Bring that leg back to center. Before we switch sides, I want you to take your strap into your right hand, left hand to your hip, and opening out. You can watch that I've got my left knee bent so I can wing out my left knee at the same time to keep the pelvis even. If you have your left leg straight, really watch that stability of the pelvis and that your left butt cheek hasn't lifted. Beautiful. One more full deep breath. Lovely. Bring that leg back to center. Switch legs, left foot in, right foot out. And just again, relax the shoulders, the elbows, getting a nice resistance on the hammies, and then maybe starting to point through the foot and flex. If you're doing that, it's inhale, ballet point, exhale, dorsiflex. You might want to roll the ankle. See, I've been walking a lot lately. I don't know about you, but it's one of the best ways to fill my time when I'm not stuck in the house. So for me, that dorsiflex really gets into my tight calves. I don't know if any of you guys are finding that the same. So just mobilizing through that ankle a little bit more. If you're like me, really maybe hold that flex. Oh boy, I feel that. For 3, 2, twist. Straps to the right hand, left arm reaches out, and you rotate, taking that leg across the body and making sure your neck is comfy and that left shoulder is really earthed into the floor. Just noticing if this side is a little tighter or a little more open than the other side. For me, this is my tight side for sure. One more breath. Beautiful. Leg back to center, straps to your left hand, right hand can go on the right hip bone as a little stability reminder. Take that leg out to the side, and you can see that I've winged out that right knee to the side as well. For 3, for 2. Very good. Bring that leg back to center, bending that knee, taking that strap off. And from here, just working your way over to the side, rolling over. And we'll face away from the wall for now. You might want to press the soles of your feet into the wall, wrists under your shoulders, and just working a little bit of cat-cow and spinal mobility. Maybe rolling the spine in any which way, or if you like familiar cat-cow, you know how to work. Inhale, open, and exhale to round. Waking up the back. Beautiful. So from here, we're just going to do a little heart melting pose. So from here, knees stay exactly where they are, but it's the hands that walk forward. So from here, walking the hands forward and just your forehead to the floor. This is just to open out through the chest, the armpits, the shoulders, and breathe into your back. Very good. I want you from here to slide forward onto your tummy. Now, if you prefer, you can just keep this position. I'd say that if you're going to stay in a familiar Sphinx position with the forearms on the floor, then I want you to move further away from the wall so your feet can be plantar flexed or pointed rather than flexed as they were into the wall. Otherwise, I want you to shimmy back with me. And we're just working a little bit of a stronger version of a Sphinx here, where if the knees are bent and the shins to the floor or to the wall, or rather the toes to the floor, the wall, good morning. So the toes to the wall, you kind of get that little bit more compression in the low back. And if that's too intense, you either shuffle back away from the wall, or you can just come a little lower, more like a crocodile. So elbows wing out, palms together, and maybe even head down. But the idea is to maybe add a little more compression into the low back. How's your breath? Can you relax your buttocks? If the buttocks tense up, it's usually a sign that they're protecting the low back. And it usually means that we're taking a little bit more than we need, especially in yin. And this isn't necessarily a yin session that we hold postures for 5 minutes, but it is something to be wary of if you find that in a relaxation or release session, you've got all these extra muscles engaging that aren't needed. For this last little bit of time here in this pose, if you're finding the compression is comfortable, you could perhaps, if you have props handy, you can of course place a bolster or blanket underneath your forearms in the Sphinx, or you can add a little bit of a seal, which is where I'm headed. Palms to the floor, elbows lift, and making sure that your shoulders haven't crept up around your neck. So shoulders down away from the ears, neck is long, collarbone broad, and breathe. So this is a real goodie, and I know some of you who get low back pain, it seems counterintuitive to do something like this, but I promise this kind of compression work is often quite helpful. So breathe deeply for 3, for 2. Gorgeous. Elbows wing out. Now from here, I want you to just roll off to the side if your shins are on the wall and bring your knees around. Beautiful. So from here, another little bit of a cat-cow. Thank you, back. Noticing for you if that's been quite a strong compression. For me, that was quite a strong one. And we're now going to take a brief child's pose just to say thank you to the back. Knees wide, arms reach forward, forehead to the floor. One more full deep breath. And when you're ready, back through hands and knees. Downward facing dog is where we're headed. So you're going to tuck the toes, have the heels pressing into the wall and stretching on back. Now it's up to you if those heels rest on the skirting or even if they go all the way down to the floor, but it's up to you. Depends on what you're focusing on. You can experiment, see what suits you best. So just taking a few more deep breaths into your back. And then walking your hands back toward your feet. You do want your feet flat for this one. And maybe a little bit further away from the wall. Taking a half lift inhale. Bottom still on the wall. And exhale, you fold. Rolling up, reach up and wide. Just take a brief moment in standing. Inhale up. And exhale, you fold. Lovely. Now take a little half lift in here. Now exhale, ragdoll. You fold, thumbs hook in opposite elbows, let your head hang. And if you're feeling like you're way too close to the wall, you just need to step your feet a little bit further away, but your butt might be connected to the wall. Now, if you find that you're someone who's quite mobile through the hamstrings, as we did warm up a little bit there, your other option is instead of bottom to the wall, you instead turn around and work your upper back to the wall and walk your feet as close as is comfortable and let yourself hang here. So this is either way going to lengthen you through the hamstrings, whichever way you're facing, and hopefully lengthen you through the back as well. Relax the jaw, relax the muscles of the face. Just noticing if there's any reaction here of the mind, of discomfort. It can be a little bit of a strong stretch for some of us. If movement feels good, of course you can sway a little bit. Well done. Those of you with your back to the wall, you need to step your feet away before very slowly rolling up. Very good. And just roll the shoulders back. And I'm just going to do this in kneeling so you can see me. I just want you to roll open through the shoulders. You can stay standing. Very good. So we're now going to do a little bit more shoulder work at the wall. So we're going to start with an L shape. So we're going to, from here, have the hands at about navel height and walk the feet back. So we're in almost like an L shape or a downward facing dog shape at the wall. So you can drop the head through, let it hang. Now, unlike your down dog, this is not asking you for stable shoulders. So because we're not working a lot of weight on those arms, you can let your back curve and your chest just drop through. So I know some of you are quite hyperextensive, but as long as there's no pain in the joints, that is okay. Breathe into your back. One more full deep breath. Long exhale. Very good. Bend your knees, slowly walking back into the wall to standing, and just stay in standing there. I'm going to do a similar exercise in kneeling. From here, you're going to place your right forearm on the wall, your palm on the wall. Now, this can work one of two ways. Some people don't mind doing it on the wall. Others prefer to have the palm this way, like against a door frame or against a wall like this. And in fact, maybe I could do that. So either way, it works. It just depends on what the sensation feels better for you. So whether palm is against a door frame or a corner, or whether you have the palm flat on the wall. So what you want to do from here is turn the chest away, turn the body away, and stretching into this place across the chest, across the shoulder. Now it's up to you if you want to just experiment with the head position. Whether it feels good to look down, drop an ear. Deep breaths. One more full deep breath here. Long exhale. Beautiful. You switch, take your time. Left arm roughly at that shoulder height and turn the body away. And just noticing if one side is a little bit different to the other. If things start to loosen up, you can always turn a little bit further away from the wall. How's the neck? Where is the best position? And when you're ready, turning on back. Beautiful. And just let those arms have a little bit of a release, shake them out. So we're going to do a couple more exercises at the wall. These ones are a little bit more for the quads and the hip flexors. So we're going to take a kneeling position facing away from the wall. So kneeling position, this is where some of you may need your hand towel if you find it's a little kinder for your knees, because you're going to be kind of right on top of that patella or right on top of that knee joint. So what we are going to do from here is take the left leg forward, hands on the floor, and see how you go with this one. If you find that a kneeling position on its own would feel better, you can always come back to that. I want you to now inch your knee back toward the wall. I'm going to pad my knee. Now it's up to you how close you get to the wall. For me, yeah, I could probably go a little closer. So I'm going to take that shin down, slide that knee back in. That's probably an easier way to get back in. My apologies, is to have this knee on the floor, slide that in. Sorry, that was confusing before. And now take that leg forward into the lunge. So you're getting quite an intense quadricep stretch. It is strong. So if any of you are finding this doesn't work, either just take a kneeling position and you can do a monkey grip, so being down and maybe taking hold of the foot like that, like you're familiar in your practice, or you can even lie on your tummy and pull the heels into the bum like that. Either way, we're after this space in the quad. This is just a far more intense way to do it that we don't really get to do in yoga classes. And while you're taking a little bit of a studio break for COVID, you may as well learn some new skills. So noticing for you, if the weight going back into the wall is too intense, you can always lean forward. Relax the jaw. Relax the muscles of the face. One more full deep breath. Stay for the exhale. Well done. Release. From here, you bring this left shin down to the floor and then release the right. And you might even just take a little moment to stretch it out, maybe push it back into the wall, roll out the ankle, just do what feels best. And then we'll come back in. I'll give you a far nicer way to get in this time. So the second side, you're going to pop that towel up against the wall as close as you're comfortable. Closer toward the wall is more intense, of course. And then sweep that right leg around, up you come. Now remember, if it's too intense to come up, you can stay forward, or more intense, go closer to the wall. Deep breaths. Relaxing the muscles of the face. Noticing how it feels for you in the quadriceps. If it feels good to go closer to the wall with the torso, with the back, getting in a little bit deeper. Well done. All right, so remember, sweep that leg around, release the other leg. And it's up to you if Japanese seat feels good or if you wanted to stretch out that leg again. Just taking a moment. So we are now going to work our way onto our back and spend this last bit of time doing some really lovely mobility work at the wall. So when you're ready, you're going to slide sideways into the wall. Maybe it's your right hip touching the wall. That's up to you, both work. And then sweeping the legs up. So at first, you might want to have the bottom quite up close to the wall. So the legs nice and close up to the wall. If that's too intense for your hamstrings, as you know, you move further away from the wall. If that feels pretty good, I want you to now allow those feet, maybe even wiggle them side to side, to just relax. You've just done a big stretch through the quadricep. And now we're working into the back of the legs a little bit instead. For some of us, this is more just a restorative posture and certainly not a stretch. Can you take an inhale through your nose? Let it out through the mouth. And again, inhale. Optional sigh. Inhale. Let it go. And just let yourself now breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. We'll be returning to this posture a little later, but we're going to move through some stretches now. So from here, and if this next step is too intense, you just come back to this variation. Next variation is bringing the outside blades, the pinky blades of the feet down the wall, and working here in a Baddha Konasana position. Shoulders relax, deep breaths. And you might find that the feet slip, especially if you're a little mobile. And the feet might not even touch really firmly. Maybe it's just the balls of the feet, and that's okay. Maybe gently rolling the head from side to relax the neck. Deep breaths. If you're finding that there's a little bit of tightness or spasming or trembling, you might need to move yourself a little further away from the wall, or you might even need to use your hands or some props just to support those legs if they need some assistance, rather than letting them or making them feel like they have to hold themselves up. Long, deep breaths. When you're ready, legs wide, opening up through the groin, relax the shoulders. And just noticing here how that stretch feels through the groin. Next posture, a squat. I want you to take hold of the knees, bend the knees, soles of the feet to the wall, your malasana on your back. Now, one thing I haven't mentioned is if any of these postures make you feel like your bum is lifting off the floor, you need to move further away from the wall. Otherwise, holding that squat. And it's up to you if you want to actually activate a little bit by pushing the feet into the wall, breathing into your back. A little exercise for pelvic floor is you might from here press the feet into the wall on the exhale, bringing the sit bones together, squeezing into that pelvic floor area, and on the inhale, letting those sit bones spread apart and relax. Then on the exhale, push into the wall, squeeze and bring the sit bones together. And then on the inhale, opening up through the groin, letting everything expand. Once more, sit bones in toward each other, push the feet into the wall. And then inhale, let everything open, let go and expand. You didn't need to do the arm motions then if you're looking at the camera. All right, stretch both legs up toward the ceiling for a moment. Just wiggle those legs out. We now work to a figure 4 posture. Right ankle hooks above the left knee. And for some of you, that will be enough stretch through the glutes and through the hips. Option otherwise, that left leg that's on the wall, bend the knee, sole of the foot to the wall. And again, if you find that the bottom is lifting up off the floor, you need to wiggle further away from the wall. Ideal here is to stretch through that right hip. Relax the jaw, deep breaths. Relax the muscles of the face. One more deep breath on this side. And when you're ready, switch over. Right leg up. Left ankle hooks above the left knee, or the right knee, pardon me, and bend that right knee, and if you need, sliding that foot down the wall. 2 more breaths. When you're ready, lengthening those legs up the wall, you're going to bend your knees, arms open wide, and just one more loosening twist before our rest. Legs drop off to the right. Maybe the soles of the feet press into the wall. Might be a deeper, tighter twist. And then when you're ready, back through center. Second side. And then whenever you're ready, back to center. Legs stretch straight up the wall. Now you can choose to stay here for your Shavasana, just allowing the restorative benefits of that posture, the blood flow to just run down from the legs, back into the heart. Or you can, of course, choose to come out into a more traditional Shavasana. Take a big inhale through the nose. Release through the mouth. Inhale. Sigh out. Once more in. Let it go. Hope you're feeling a little more open, a little more mobile. Have a beautiful day. I'll leave you here for a little more time in Shavasana. Namaste.